specific plant that's pumping out that smell right now. If you look around here, this is obviously a unique spot. Why? What topographically speaking?
River, a little creek here
Yeah.
sometimes.
So this is Silverado Creek. Even though, hello,
Hi.
how's it going?
Excellent.
Even though you can't see any water now, there is water supporting the growth in this creek underground. And the plant that is producing that smell at this time in the morning is heavily reliant on that water. And if you notice, there is a particular plant, or more of a tree I should say, that seems to be clinging to both sides of the creek. Do you notice all these erect trees here? Now I know Julie knows what this is, but I'm just curious if the rest of you know what this special tree is that is putting out this wonderful smell. I usually associate, there's two particular plants that pump out smells that tell me that I'm in a creek, and this is one of them. Do you see it's producing its seed pods now? The old ones, they almost look like little mini pine cones. It has a certain type of leaf, as you can see, that's the veins are very prominent, and has a little bit of a serration around the edge, the leaf margin. When you go up the trunks are really straight, and you can see how a lot of branches have broken off and revealed these eyes go up the trunk. And
These trees are making that smell?
yeah. And does anybody have an idea of what these might be? I mean, the cones might be a giveaway. If you've ever seen a tree that produces cones like this, maybe even in home landscape, apartment complex, street medians. Anybody have any ideas? There's, it's in the birch family. This is related to birch. So if you've ever identified birch before, they have very similar leaves and seed pods. But this is not a birch. It's called white alder, A-L-D-E-R. Alder trees, we only have white alder trees in Southern California, but if you go further north, you can also get a more scraggly alder called the red alder. And they are very, very thirsty trees. They need more water than most of the plants that we see around us. And so you're only going to find them in places where the water table is high, which means if you're trying to survive out here,
You want to find alder.
yeah, and for some reason you're in a very desolate area and there's an alder tree there, that's important. That means something. There's a spring.
Start digging.
Yeah, exactly. You might find water really quickly. So their roots need to be touching moist soil, supposedly at all times of year. They, I've described some of the characteristics that would help you identify an alder. Most likely you're going to find them along creeks. When you go down into our valleys in Orange County, in the lower elevation areas, you find less alders because our streams are more intermittent. They dry up faster in the valleys than they do up here. So there's actually sections of this creek that are flowing right now, both downstream of where we are and upstream of where we are, which is amazing. But this whole mountain range is a sponge, and it's holding a lot of water, and that's very important for human survival even today. The water districts appreciate that these mountains are here, and that's how they get like 70% of our groundwater is from these mountains and our groundwater basin. So again, these are what?
Alders.
White alders. Very good. Now the eyes may have been significant to the local tribes. Do you know the names of the local tribes? No.
They're on your page, but I couldn't pronounce one of them.
So there's I don't know how to pronounce them exactly right, but there's the Ahashiman, and then there's the Tungva, and then they have their Spanish colonial name. The Ahashiman were called the Juaneños by the Spanish when the missions were established, and the Tungva were called the Gabrieleño or Gabrielino after San Gabriel mission. But they have their own language names for themselves, and they may have thought that the eyes were the eyes of their dead elders watching over the tribe. So alders have eyes. Elder, alder, almost sounds the same. That's maybe an easy way for you to remember the name of the plant. Alders can be tapped for syrup. They're not as sweet as a sugar maple, but they can be tapped. And then the catkins, which we missed, that was actually, oh no, they're, looks like they might be coming out. Do you know what catkins are on a plant? So certain plants and trees, they have a long tassel with many little flowers concentrated on it. It looks like a caterpillar, and those will hang off. And they are usually, catkins are wind pollinated because the flowers are so tiny that the wind carries the pollen all over the place. So these have catkins too, and you could eat the catkins. So it's a good source for water. It's a good source for the food is really bland. The catkins, I eat them. It's like eating paste or something. It's not that great. But some people use alder branches when they're doing a sweat, like in a sauna, and I don't really understand it, but you hit yourself with the branches,
Blood circulation.
Oh, okay. There you go. And then the branches are very lightweight, strong, and flexible. So it was a good wood for walking sticks, for using for structures for dwellings and things like that. So very helpful plant in a lot of ways. And hence the smell
Smells great.
of the creek right now. And you can see there's a lot of alder leaf litter all over the ground too. So that's going to contribute to the smell for a long time.
I'm trying to figure out, I can hear something over in here.
You hear something moving?
Yeah, I'm guessing a bird, but I don't know. So often hear it moving around.
Yeah, it could be like a towhee or a thrasher maybe.